Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Thursday, July 16th, 2015, around 5:05 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun's going to come up, and it's going to be a nice day, low humidity. Some news report: the Lowell Spinners beat the Connecticut Tigers by a score of 7-4. Prayers to former President George Herbert Walker Bush, who fell and suffered a broken neck, so prayers to him. And there's talks that George Lopez is going to be hosting the newest season of Celebrity Apprentice. And that's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is the review of the Great American Bash pay-per-view in 2000 WCW from the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. This was the last WCW Great American Bash pay-per-view before they were bought out by WWE in March of 2001. And the main event was Double J, Jeff Jarrett, the Chosen One, facing off against Kevin Nash, plus other matches on this card. Calling the action was Tony Schiavone, Mark Madden, and Scott Hudson. And there was no dark matches for the crowd to see in Baltimore. The first match was WCW Cruiserweight Champion Lieutenant Loco, who was Chavo Guerrero Jr. They were part of the Misfits of Action, which included Lash LaRue, Van Hammer, and Major Guns, and General Erection, facing off against Disco Inferno. And he was with the Filthy Animals, Juventud Guerrera, Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Tigress. And this was about a 4 or 5 minute match. So much interference by both the Filthy Animals and the Misfits in Action. The ending had Lash LaRue attack Disco, and Lieutenant Loco got him the pin 1, 2, 3. Then afterwards, Major Guns attacked Tyrus, and they'll stole that shit. Don't want to talk about it. The next match was Chronic, Brian Adams, and Brian Clark facing off against Mama Lukes, who was Johnny the Bull and Vito. And this was, and the winner of this match was going to be the #1 contender for the WCW World Tag Team Championships. This was kind of an awful match. Chronic wins by pinning Johnny the Bull, while Vito was outside the ring shining up the hardcore belt of WCW and stuff. Another awful tag team match. The next match was Mike Awesome facing off against Diamond Dallas Page, and it was an ambulance match. And Canyon, who was confined to a wheelchair and stuff and had a neck brace and stuff, was up the ramp seeing it ringside. And this was, the one of the ambulance match had to put his opponent in an ambulance, and back and forth. The ending had so much interference. Kimberly, who was Diamond Dallas Page's wife, interfered and attacked DDP, but Miss Hancock made the save and just got Kimberly out of there. And then when DDP got up and was going to throw Mike Awesome into the ambulance, Canyon gets up out of the wheelchair, whips up his neck brace and attacks DDP, gives him a kind of a diamond cutter, and then Mike Awesome throws DDP into the ambulance, and then Canyon whips up his shirt, says positively Canyon and stuff, and joins the New Blood faction. The next match was a boot camp match. It was G.I. Pro, who was Booker T, facing off against Shawn Stasiak, and this was a long boot camp match, back and forth. G.I. Pro won when he knocked out Shawn Stasiak and stuff. It was an awful match. The next match was a tables match, a 3 tables match. It was the franchise Shane Douglas facing off against The Wall, and before the match, Shane Douglas cut a promo saying he hopes Ric Flair and and Hulk Hogan forced to retire tonight, and he says the fans in Baltimore suck and stuff. This was about an 8-9 minute match. Shane Douglas beats the wall by throwing him through 3 tables in a row. It was a 3-table match. It was, a decent match. The next match was WCW United States Champion Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner facing off against Tank Abbott, but then they added Rick Steiner to this match, his brother, because Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff wanted to stack the decks against Big Papa Pump, but it was no effect because Big Papa Pump won this match by beating Tank Abbott once Rick Steiner accidentally hit Tank Abbott, and then Scott Steiner put Tank Abbott in the Steiner recliner. The next match was Hollywood Hulk Hogan facing off against Billy Kidman, with Horace Hogan the referee, with a stipulation if Hogan won, he would be the #1 contender to the WCW World title, but if Billy Kidman won, Hulk Hogan would be forced to retire from the world of professional wrestling. And this was a decent match and stuff. And then about 10-minute match, Tori Wilson comes down, who was with Kidman and stuff, and then she gets a pair of brass knuckles. Kidman hits Horace and knocks him out, but then Tori Wilson turns on Billy Kidman, gives him the low blow. Hogan does the leg drop on Kidman, and of course counts 1, 2, 3. Hulk Hogan and Horace Hogan are celebrating. Hogan stays active and becomes the #1 contender for the WCW World title. The next match was Nature Boy Ric Flair, facing off against his son David Flair, in a stipulation if Ric Flair lost, he would be retired from the world of professional wrestling. Ric Flair won this match with the figure 4 leg lock, a decent match and stuff like that. The next match was a fire match. It was Vampiro facing off against Sting. Not too much good about this match. Vampiro won this match by setting Sting on fire and stuff, and the stunts with this match was not decent and stuff. And the main event was for the WCW World Championship. It was the Chosen One, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, facing off against Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, 2 former NWO teammates and stuff. And this match was, decent back and forth until the referee gets knocked out, and then Bill Goldberg comes down, and Bill Goldberg attacks Kevin Nash, turning heel and joining the New Blood faction, and Jeff Jarrett pins Nash with the 1, 2, 3, and Jeff Jarrett retains the WCW World Championship, and the crowd was booing Bill Goldberg, throwing stuff in the ring and stuff. With this, Bill Goldberg turned heel, was booing Goldberg out of the building. And this pay-per-view, was very, very awful. And I think I give it a F because so much, with so much gimmick matches with WCW and stuff. Because this was the dying days of the promotion and stuff like that. The New Blood versus the Millionaires Club feud in WCW was kind of their last gasp of breath. It had some potential, but it was very, very awful. And this was the last Great American Bash pay-per-view for WCW until they got bought out by WWE. It was a sad way to see the Great American Bash go as a WCW pay-per-view. It's disappointing and stuff. And that's about it on these Great American Review bashes. Tomorrow I'm going to be starting the Bash at the Beach reviews with 1994 from Orlando, Florida, which is Julie Button country. And have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Be back later with 2 more video blogs. One will be about memories of Mr. Mike Grandfield's English class at Berwick Memorial High School, 10th grade. The third and final video blog of the night will be about is former NHL goaltender Ron Hextall, Hall of Famer. Have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Bye now.